Here we have an equation with variables on both sides of the equal sign. What we're going to do in order to get started is we're going to focus on just the left-hand side first. For some people, it's much easier to draw a dotted line in the middle right where the equal sign is. We can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to simplify the left-hand side of the equation by distributing first. When I distribute, I get 18a plus 6. And since this minus 30 is on the outside of the parentheses, I'm going to go ahead and just put the minus 30 here. I'm also, if I have any like terms, I'm going to go ahead and add my like terms on the same side of the equal sign. I do not have like terms with 18a, but I do know that 6 minus 30 is going to give me negative 24. As of right now, the left-hand side of my equation is simplified. There's nothing else that I can do. I'm going to go ahead and simplify the right side of my equation at this time. It's going to be a little bit more simple. When I distribute, I'm going to get 6a minus 12. And as you can see, there's nothing we can do to simplify this. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite that right underneath. So I'm going to focus on using my both sides math method. We also joke about that in classes, calling it BS math, where BS stands for both sides. What I want to do is I want to combine like terms. However, I'm going to have to cross my equal sign. I'm going to have to go on opposite sides. Whenever you go on opposite sides, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to both sides, and that's why we call it both sides math. Now here, all we did was we combined like terms. You cannot add 30, because you can only do the same thing on both sides. It's like a scale. Here we were just able to do 6 minus 30 because they're on the same side of the sign. But now that we're crossing over, whatever I do to one side, I can do to the other. Technically, I can either subtract 18a from both sides, add 24 from both sides, subtract 6a from both sides, or add 12 to both sides. The truth is, I can do any one of those things first and still end up with the same correct answer. But here's what I recommend. I recommend starting off with the variable, so whatever has a variable, these numbers, and starting off with the smaller one, the smaller number in front, that's going to be 6a. And the reason why I recommend that is when I subtract 6a from both sides, I'm going to end up with a positive number in front of my variable. That's why I recommend starting off by subtracting or adding the smaller number to both sides. I'm going to end up with a positive, and even though that's not going to change my answer, it is going to make it a little bit easier down the road, especially if you struggle with solving equations or with negative numbers. So from this point, I'm going to solve it like a regular two-step equation. In order to get a by itself, I'm going to add 24 to both sides. That's going to give me, this will cancel out, I'll have 12a equals 12. Divide both sides by 12 in order to get a by itself. So a is going to equal 1.